This podcast is rated off for realness.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Basement Bookers podcast. Please excuse me. I am very sick. My throat is sore. So if you don't feel the natural exuberance that I exude, also I am too cold not to wear this sad bathrobe, and my championship is too heavy to hold onto my shoulders for the entirety of this broadcast. But fear not, I am here. Rich Deriz is on the right, and he is the co-host of the Basement Bookers podcast. He's going to bring you news, rumors, and BS as per usual. Going to keep it cool, try to survive, have a good time for all you good people. Not going to skip this one. WrestleMania is too close. Rich Deriz, please take it away.
Jared, thank you for being able to do the podcast while sick. Please get well soon. So let's run through these headlines. Let's not dwell too much so that we can get Jerry out of here. Relating to the alleged use of company funds as part of the misconduct allegations against him, as well as the legal fees incurred, Vince McMahon has agreed to pay back approximately $17.4 million back to WWE. That's a lot. And I don't know if that is sort of, if it's part of a settlement or if he's just like, yeah, I took it, here you go, kind of thing. Give it back to you.
I think it's payback. You got to pay what you owe, Vince. And that's what Vince did. Vince paid what he owed.
You do got to pay what you owe. Moving on from that, the WrestleVotes Twitter account notes that Bray Wyatt is dealing with a personal health issue, still unspecified. And that internally, it looks like the Bray Wyatt vs. Lashley match at WrestleMania is not happening.
I think the personal issue is not knowing what the hell you want to do anyway. Like he probably had some wacky plan, and they're all like, "No, this isn't a good plan. This is WrestleMania. This isn't about to do pitch black thing. This is WrestleMania, and that's the almighty Bobby Lashley. So if you don't have anything better, then I guess maybe you're sick or something. I don't know.
Something. They do have a backup plan for Lashley, at least, so that's good for him.
Yes, for SmackDown WrestleMania, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, brother. Where wrestlers who should definitely be on WrestleMania are not on WrestleMania. One, Bobby Lashley, and the other, L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
It's a sin and a crime. Not so much a sin. I'm sorry, my Bible thumping brothers. It's not that extreme. However, I do not like this. Not enough for me to hate on WrestleMania. I'm just sick and being a baby. On to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, it could be argued that the Bray Wyatt feud, if LA Knight was originally penciled in for WrestleMania, that sort of just derailed that.
I guess we'll talk about who's going to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on this Friday's WrestleMania SmackDown later on, where we go through and see who's in it, because Rich has that. So let's continue on to the next topic here. What do you got there, buddy?
Jamie Hayter missing from TV this week due to visa issues. So she's back in the UK getting that fixed. So she's not heard nothing, thankfully.
Well, sorry, Jamie Hayter is not going to be able to see the sun until she returns to America. Jamie Hayter was missed, and we'll see her back soon.
A recent report from People.com states that Sarah Lee, quote, was heavily drinking on the night of her passing before being found by her husband, the gentleman formerly known as Wesley Blake. Their source added, quote, it wasn't intentional and it was accidental. So
she weighed 90 pounds.
She did.
So that might have something to do with what happened there, and the fact that she doesn't usually would do that. And we don't know what, like, other circumstances, what happened before that led to this. So
legal substance and all alcohol is still quite dangerous.
Yes.
Moving on to the boo-boo room, Ronda Rousey revealed on Instagram that after suffering, quote, thousands of dislocations of her elbow in her teens, She was also quoted as saying, "I thought not tapping out to arm bars and tearing ligaments was cool in my teens." She fractured her elbow by slapping the mat at a house show.
You have to tap. There's no dishonor, and she knows that now. And
Mhm.
now you know. If you decide not to tap, you might go unconscious or a bone will break.
Yeah, just tap. There's no pride to be lost when you tap. If you're caught, you're caught. Just let it go. All right. Alexa Bliss announced on Twitter that she recently underwent treatment to remove a spot on her face that turned out to be basal cell carcinoma, the most common form of skin cancer that, according to Wikipedia, quote, is unlikely to spread to distant areas or result in death. So it was not a drastic health hazard. She wanted to take care of it. She got it taken care of. She also recently appeared as the axolotl on The Masked Singer. Continuing on, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Cora Jade suffered an undisclosed injury about 2 months ago. Didn't say whether or not it happened in the parking lot, which is the most dangerous place in professional wrestling at the moment.
Thought it was the airport when you're
The
getting off the
airport,
flight.
the airport is not a good place at the moment either. People that just want to get 100 things signed, just stop. Like that, you're not entitled to it. That's been the news for now. Miro is loaning his voice to an animated short called Yellowbird on HBO Max, already streaming.
Yellow bird, like Big Bird.
Maybe it
Big
is Big
Bird's a
Bird. I
yellow
don't know.
bird.
Big Bird is a yellow bird. So's Woodstock. Is it Woodstock? Well, as you mentioned, I do have the list of Andre Battle Royal participants. So we have all three male members of Legado del Fantasma, Massey and Mansois.
Those guys.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The Good Brothers. Shelton
How
and
good
Cedric.
are they?
They're pretty good.
Good brothers.
Shelton and
Okay.
Cedric. Angel and Umberto.
The Carrillos.
Yep.
That's their fault.
Ashante the Adonis and Top Dollar.
Top Dollar. Wonder what it's like to be a bottom dollar. Like you're always the one that gets bet. You know,
You are
always betting that bottom dollar. You don't bet the top dollar.
You don't bet the top dollar.
I don't think. That's pretty nuts.
Johnny Organo and Dexter Loomis. Butch and Ridge Holland. That might be all for the tag teams. Dolph Ziggler, Mustafa Ali.
The winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. If it's not Mansois, it's got to be positively Mustafa Ali.
That'd be nice.
By eliminating Dolph Ziggler. That's a guess. It has nothing to do with anything.
Rick Boogs, Elias, Xavier Woods, L.A. Knight, yeah, Bobby Lashley, as you called, Karrion Kross, Baron Corbin, Bronson Reed, and Madcap Moss. Still Madcap, apparently.
TikTok, Karrion Kross. The hour approaches when you will wrestle on the Friday before WrestleMania weekend. Congratulations. I hope it was worth it to come back here with your smoke show of a wife. And who knows? Maybe we'll see you on Monday Night Raw. Make a statement. Probably not. Probably just complaining about not being on WrestleMania when you should be. That's probably what it's going to be. Probably. Stay off of Twitter. Stay off Twitter. Do not complain on Twitter, or else Darby Allin is going to slip into your DMs and be like, hey, stop complaining on Twitter.
Yeah, you could add all the good stuff you want to a cesspool. It's still going to be a cesspool.
You keep this tweeting to the marks. That's our business. You come here, you come tweeting, you look for Rich Derez, and he's going to teach you a lesson with his hands.
Why are you lying about that? Like, why?
Okay.
Karrion Cross, doesn't matter. Anyone. Richard Woods will fight anyone. Like Kevin Owens. Yeah. You saying that stuff off the air. Remember?
Why are you lying about that? Like,
All
why?
right.
Do you have a fever?
Maybe.
Let's hope not. Let's talk about WrestleMania. We are 1 week away. This is the next to last episode before WrestleMania. We are going to have a pre-WrestleMania episode. Of course, we have where we're going to do our predictions. But going into WrestleMania, there are a few key storylines. We talked about them last week. We're going to talk about them again this week because there was progression. You know?
We have 2 matches that we didn't have before.
All right, the first match that was just added that I want to talk about, Rey versus Dominik Mysterio. Now, as we saw on SmackDown, Dominik got in his mom's face, told her to shut up, disrespecting his mom. Finally,
A Rock! Oh.
sorry. Not the finally I was going for. Finally, Rey had enough. He clocked him. The one problem I have here is he used the overused line of "you made me do it." Not a fan. Not a fan of that. But I gotta say, the way the crowd erupted, right? They erupted. They went nuts. The way they did this, I'm now invested in the storyline. I wasn't before. I kind of just wanted it to happen and get over with. Now I'm a little into it. At least a little. At least a little.
But he did make him do it. What else is he supposed to say?
Didn't make him.
Well, he did because he kept pushing and disrespecting. And how is he not making him do it? That's because he did. Like, I understand you don't like overused words, but those they fit the story. Like, he did make him. We have like a couple of weeks, maybe at least, just if you want to think recent memory, if you have like a bad memory like that, he's just been out of control.
Yeah,
it goes. You don't even have to.
Goes back to Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so he did. Yeah, it's a result of he wanted it. He wanted it, and now he's going to give it to him, like DMX.
Yep. So this is going to be an interesting match. Is it going to be an interesting match? It might be an interesting match.
This match, I'm into the match, but there's other matches that I'd rather see.
There absolutely are.
You know what I mean? It's like when you say it like that, I get it. All right, this isn't your top 5 match for WrestleMania or whatever.
Right.
Just it's okay. We're all allowed. For some people, this is their bloodline or whatever. So
true.
It's that's why there's so many stories for different people.
There are. That's true. The one I'm much more interested in is and also just announced Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. Blood Brothers versus Chosen Brothers.
What could possibly go wrong?
A lot could go wrong. So I get the impression because the only match so far announced for night 2 is Roman versus Cody. I get the impression that Usos versus KO will happen on Monday. On Monday.
Monday's Raw.
So night 1. Sorry. Night
Saturday?
1 of WrestleMania. I don't know why I said Monday. The Saturday.
Wow, it's not
Saturday.
Even, yeah, like Monday is not even a weekend. It's after, I guess.
It is?
Usually, depending on what your holidays are, because sometimes it is a third day of the weekend, but at this point, it is not. It is merely a normal Monday.
Usos versus KO and Sami Zayn. Also, digging the new shirt. I like it. It's a cool design. Might be one on the way.
Okay, good job. Could wear it next week.
So I don't think it'll ship that soon, unfortunately.
You
I'd
tell
love
them
for it to.
you have to put a note that you need it for WrestleMania. They'll do it for you. Just
Oh,
put who you are.
I'll let them know.
Yeah,
Can
edit
make
it.
it happen.
Edit the order. Put who you are. Put the Basement Bookers podcast, and this is unacceptable. And I'll get it to you. It works. Trust me.
Done. We know all the participants of the WrestleMania Men's Showcase Tag Team match. It's Braun and Ricochet versus Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders.
Why isn't Imperium in there?
It's a great question. They should be
They're
in there.
good at tag teaming.
Hmm.
So hold on a second. Does that mean Damian Priest doesn't have a match for WrestleMania? Like, I
Yeah.
get that he's going to show up at the Hell in a Cell match, but still, that sucks. He's going to be a quarterman. He might show up for Dominik Mysterio. He might show up for, if it's 2 different nights, he'll show up. It's like, oh, that's not bad. You get to be on WrestleMania. You don't have to work a full thing because you'll probably like take a bump or 2, if anything. So
Yeah,
it's probably not too bad.
Charlotte and Rhea is for night 1.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the main event. A lot of people don't think that should be the case. Personally, I think Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos should be the main event for night 1 disputed tag team championship. Why? And it's part of the hottest storyline. You would think the hottest storyline would have both main events for WrestleMania that year. I like Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair is like Royal Rumble. Everything else has been over months and months of storytelling. You know, and this isn't, don't bring your isms, your sexisms, you know. I don't care. I was stoked with Becky Lynch main event in WrestleMania. I don't care about that stuff. I just think story wise, this makes the most sense. And all I can do is complain about it on Twitter.
Well, it could be argued that this goes back a couple of years when Charlotte won the Royal Rumble and Rhea, as the NXT Women's Champion, challenged Charlotte.
I remember that. I remember all of that. You can take any match, and if you want, you could say this started here, and it would work the same. But if the fact that you of all people want to sit here in defense of that, when we both full know well how invested you're in the bloodline, is ridiculous. Who are you trying to please here?
I'm just
I know
saying.
Charlotte Flair is a weekly viewer. Okay. Some people, they say they hate watch things. Charlotte Flair love watches the Basement Bookers podcast. Okay. You got to be more, you got to focus on your truth and tell the truth, because you know, and I know, that the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens should main event night 1.
I will admit, I think the majority of fans are more invested in Usos versus Sami and KO.
That's right, and it has nothing to do. Like, I'm into the match. I would love to see Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley battle it out to have a sequel to their, they decided to shut the world down and we didn't get them their real WrestleMania match. Rhea Ripley is on a different level. She's not even the same character. She's, she's more herself, or she's come more into her own here. So there's lots of positives. She's been featured heavily in all the Judgment Day segments. Some might argue that Judgment Day's her thing, and everybody else is just there along for the ride. Yeah. So that's how I feel about it.
It's hard to not think that, actually, because early on when Finn joined, Edge got kicked out or whatever, they were saying that Judgment Day has no leader. Over time, Damian Priest has developed a bit. Dominik joined and developed. Rhea developed. Finn's the only one that hasn't changed.
He's about to change it to body paint, is what he's about to do. I bet $150 reduce fake money that because Edge was like, the Undertaker, he beat me up at a Hell in a Cell. You remember that when you were a kid? Did you watch me in Hell in a Cell, Finn Balor? And the demon's probably gonna have like some purplish theme, like the Undertaker. He's gonna try to be like, oh, but no, they couldn't handle this demons that I got me. I'm gonna put myself in body paint, and it's kind of weird if I don't go over, but okay. Edge can win this match.
Mm-hmm.
What is the demon but that nerd Finn Balor covered in body paint? By the way, if your first time, I am also a nerd. It's not being rude to him.
Mm-hmm.
He knows it, and I know it. Okay, we can compare Legos, Finn. Let's talk about this. We'll see what happens.
There you go. I gotta say though that the floating head promo that Edge did, a little weird. Little weird.
He was trying to intimidate Finn Balor. He wanted to let Finn Balor know that Edge is out of his mind. He's crazy. He's trying to psychologically get into him inside of Finn Balor.
The triple threat for the IC title is another one I'm looking forward to. Gunther, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre.
We talked about that last week also, in case you missed it, if you want a full breakdown. But this Friday, we had a contract signing. We don't know what the status of Drew McIntyre and Sheamus' friendship story-wise. We know that we don't know if Sheamus was if Drew was going to kick. He was going after Gunter, or he was going after Sheamus. That's the story. We don't know. Gunter went on to just beat the crap out of he had beat Pete Dunne before this. So it's not like he didn't just wrestle a whole A match and these jabronis decided to attack him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he was pretty disrespectful, but still. Gunter walks away with the Intercontinental Championship. I'm just saying. I don't know, maybe not an official thing, but it'll definitely make picks a lot easier next week to do.
Yeah, and Gunther has a really good point. If they actually aren't not on the same page, right? Like if they are on the same page and this is just a show, they could beat up on Gunter 2-on-1, toss him to the outside, and then do rock paper scissors and winner pins the loser.
Yeah, and give the other one a rematch.
Yeah, so Gunter absolutely has a claim that these two best friends should not be facing him.
Yeah, but he's also a wrestling aficionado, and he knows that this is just how the triple threat match goes.
Yep. And in this case, triple threat, I mean, it's 3-on-2 ultimately because Imperium will be there, I'm sure.
They need to be, because why did you not put... it's a no disqualification match.
Mm-hmm.
Sheamus has Pete Dunne and the other guy, Ridge Holland, the guy who hurt Big E by accident.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got Imperium for Gunter. The only guy who's by himself is Drew.
Is he?
What friends does he have that's not in the match?
It's a good question.
We know Sheamus is his friend, and I don't know about the other guys, if they're like... They did a commercial together. I don't think that makes you friends.
No, but, I mean, there are free agents on the market. I was thinking, Nick Aldis.
Are they friends?
I don't know. They were both at Impact. I don't know if they were at Impact at the same time, but his name has been brought up as far as potentially heading over.
I feel like if he does that, it's not a good move. They're not going to treat him good. He has no leverage. He has zero leverage, if you think about it, because the way things ended with Billy Corgan, he's impacted him. I think they're pretty much done. I don't know what's going on with them, if they had any bad blood, but his wife works there a lot, so I don't know, maybe. But if he comes here, he's doing work. And when I mean that, I mean he's going to do some jobs. And I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but who's to say? You know, he's getting on. He's getting on in age.
I don't think he would necessarily get the Cody treatment, but
He won't. Why would he?
maybe a U.S.
He's not
title
as big
run,
of a
IC
star as
title.
Cody.
I don't
Maybe.
know, man. 16 pounds of gold, 20 pounds of gold, 10 pounds of gold, 10 pounds of gold. That was it.
Okay, but he's not the American Nightmare. He doesn't have the pedigree of the American Nightmare. He doesn't have the Rhodes name to go with that. He doesn't have great music. He won't have great music. You could tell that Nick Aldis is also a nerd, which is fine. Like I said, I'm also a nerd. But I mean, dude, what are we doing? Unless it's a cushy commentator gig, do not do this. Just wait until they're asking for you with a lot of money because, look at the landscape. Look at Karrion Kross. Look at that guy. He's a young guy. And now it's like he might win. He might have a shot at the Andre the Giant Memorial Royal Battle Royal brother, but it's very busy. So you think about that, Nick Aldis, secret love watcher of the Basement Bookers podcast, along with Charlotte Flair. It's cool, whatever.
Another couple of new entrants into the women's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. They gotta shorten some of these match names, I gotta tell you.
Do they?
Yeah.
Sure.
So last week we had Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez qualify. This week, Natty and Shotzi qualified, and Ronda and Shayna announced that they are in it.
Yeah, I was startled because it looks to me, if I had to guess, it's Austin Theory and John Cena are jerking the curtain on the first night.
Hot start.
I think that on the second night, it's going to be that multi-women's thing with Rousey because she's in it. You know, why stay there all night? Just open up and just hang out for the rest of the night, watch a show. Unless they need them as like a buffer between matches, in which case it's Ronda Rousey. Why using her as a buffer? That's not cool.
Right.
Because we all know you either open or you close. Although what they could do, they could bookend WrestleMania Night 2. They could have the Usos and KO Sami Zayn as the opener and then close with the Tribal Chief.
Possibly.
Because that match is huge. So maybe do that and just put Ronda and the ladies in the middle.
I feel like that's tough because then you have a hot opener that everyone wants to see. You have the hot closer that everyone wants to see. Literally everything in between is kind of going to be filler unless so Brock could do night 2. Brock and Omos could be either right before the main or 2 before the main, maybe.
I don't know. Is the brain gonna break?
Don't do that. I hate when they do that. It's stupid. Just they're not using a friggin' forklift thing again. I know that much. Front end loader.
Oh, you talking to people over there?
No, I just. I feel like you do that once in your career.
Well, I don't know. It's Brock Lesnar. So
Brock. I mean, if he says he wants to do it again, then they'll do it again.
Sure. That's fine. I don't know what he's gonna do. He's probably just gonna slam him through the mat or something. That's easy to fix.
Yeah. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul, kind of filler, but also kind of not, because I'm sure we're going to see more of what Logan Paul can do. He's got to practice that buckshot more.
I would like to
that buckshot.
I would like to make a correction that you should not refer to any WrestleMania match as filler. What with Karrion Kross having to wrestle on a poor LA Knight and Karrion Kross don't even get to be on WrestleMania. Like, to be on WrestleMania night 1 or 2, that's a big deal. I don't think any match is filler. You know what I mean? Like, if you think about it, there's so many people that want to be at WrestleMania, right? Like the matches, and they'll, well, look, we just don't have it. You know what I mean? We're just trying to make it tight. You know, good matches, not too long for night 1 and 2. I think that's what Triple H is doing. I don't know. But either way, all of these matches, they sound like they are filler. They
Mhm.
do. It's like, here's all the ladies that didn't get a match. Here's the men that did a match and didn't wrestle on Friday night SmackDown and Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and they're trying to do this thing. And they're going to get paid money to be
Mhm.
wrestling on WrestleMania. So,
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
that is true. I see your point and I get it.
Mm.
To be fair to Karrion Kross and to LA Knight, yeah.
Yeah.
For both of them, it's their first year on the main roster. So I
Yes,
can
just like
see.
Cody. Oh, wait
No.
a minute. That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay, so what's that about? What's that?
Stardust was fun. I get why he didn't
Because
want
it
to do
didn't
it.
feel like him. He doesn't see himself as a clown,
Hmm.
and that's cool. That's good, and obviously it paid off.
Yeah, but man, Cody even said he's been around for 20 years. It's a long
Yeah,
time.
it is a long time. I mean, I've been around for 40 years, which is a long time. So
Mm.
what are we doing here? Like, just because you're there, you got all the time in, but do you have the time in here? You know what I mean? In here, right
Mm-hmm.
here, not here, but like where you are. You know what I mean? I'm not arguing against Cody. I'm just saying I don't think it has anything to do with it being the first WrestleMania that comes around when you're there. What do you got to tell Bobby Lashley? You got to give
Seriously,
Bobby Lashley the same reason why he's not on WrestleMania this year?
Dolph Ziggler,
Yeah. So really, you
who else we got?
gotta.
Shelton Benjamin, the Good Brothers.
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't know if it's because AJ got hurt or what, but that was a good investment. What are they doing? What are they doing? This might be why Vince decided to pay all that money back. He's like, this sucks. I'm coming back. No, it's fine.
Go
It doesn't suck.
find more talent, but focus on talent, like kind of thing.
Yeah.
Trim some of the fat. You gotta
Hmm.
have you gotta have like fillers in your roster for when someone does get hurt, like for when AJ gets hurt.
Yeah.
He's out now. Alexa Bliss had the showed a picture of like a bandage like over here. Looked like it was in her like sideburn area kind of thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is skin cancer. It is terrible, but she'll be fine skin cancer. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? It's not the
thankfully.
same thing. So
Hmm.
that's good. So maybe, so she's got a little thing going on. So, let her put on some makeup and Firefly Funhouse or whatever. Or just burn the Firefly Funhouse to the ground, man. Either way, it's good for me.
They already did that. How many times are they going to burn down the Firefly Funhouse?
Forever, because it came back.
But how many
If they
times are they going to do it?
Until it doesn't come back anymore.
Okay.
I think this is it. I need to see what this thing is. If something's wrong, if he's having a mental health thing, which is something that I understand, then let's let this just say, look, right now he's not in a good headspace, but it's just there's but so much time.
Hmm.
I don't know.
It's tough because there is no off season. We've said it a million times. Everyone's said it a million times. WWE produces 3, 5, including NXT, 7 hours of new primetime content every week. You're out. You miss one. Okay. You miss 2, 3, 4 weeks. You're forgotten. Other
Hmm.
things have literally taken your spot. So while you do need to go take care of your mental health, it is very important. Your emotional health, you know, get yourself wherever you need to be mentally and emotionally. You have to expect that your job just is not going to wait for you in perpetuity. Once you're good, hopefully you can come back. So that's how I feel about Bray. Kind of like well, Lars Sullivan thing was kind of a different thing. Also, there was something else attached with that. But
Yeah, a lot of MMA.
But man, so 13 matches announced so far for WrestleMania. It does look like they could add one or two more.
No, 6 plus 6 is 12. You get the extra, the
Mhm.
odd one. You messed
You
it up.
got your baker's dozen.
Let's do a baker's dozen. Don't, unless you want to do like a pre-show.
I mean,
Which case you'd still, their pre-shows for Mania is always just Mania and like the talking to people like last year.
yeah.
Little round table. I wonder if Jake Paul will be here this year. Oh, Jake Paul get involved in the Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins. So many
Yeah.
things to talk about here.
This is Triple H's first Mania calling the shots.
That's right, Rich. There is. This is real graduation day. This card here, although it wasn't fully built up by Triple H. Vince was still around for the infancy of this card.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanna, but he did build on it. I'm not sure what changes were made or anything like that, but I'd have to think that this is close to around what Vince is okay with.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I can think of that he wouldn't be okay with, but I don't care, is Gunter still being the Intercontinental Champion, because Vince had plans to squash him. There were plans, and luckily that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, pretty good.
I can't imagine any sort of creative mind in the wrestling world saying, we'll give him a bit of a run and we'll just crush him." About Gunther.
Yeah, I don't know. Vince is he's weird. He's from a different time or something. So that's all I got to say about that. I don't want to tear into the guy. Everybody said what they had to say about him. We've said it here. Yeah, there's really nothing else we can do. The guy's a part of everybody's life that likes wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So take that for what it's worth. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. So the only other thing in wrestling right now that people are talking about is the AEW debut of El Hijo del Vikingo. What did you think of that match?
I don't think the best thing to do is to take someone who's supposed to be this sensation and put them against your Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
I understand giving him, wow, look how great he is. He really gave our Hulkster a run for the money. I don't know for sure if Kenny Omega is their Hulkster. Please, if you don't get mad, I'm just saying I'm okay with Kenny, but I just don't think. I think he should have had a match and he should have won his match. I don't understand the AEW style of booking. I understand like the whole TNT thing that Cody was doing, but there isn't no championship. And I know it's Kenny Omega. Kenny, he's the god of wrestling. He's coming back to this. But why do this? Why include him in this nonsense? The whole point of that match was to get the Combat Club in here and attack Kenny, and then Hangman comes for the save, and Callis pulls a Eddie to try to keep the rift between both Kenny Omega and Hangman on. And it was so stupid. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, obviously Kenny Omega needs to watch SmackDown, because Paul Heyman already said sometimes you miss things when you're at SmackDown, when you don't watch SmackDown and see what happens. So all Adam Page has to do is pick up the banana phone and send a clip of AEW. I'm sure they won't get mad at you, and show them, the dumb, stupid idiot, what happened. So that was just weird to me. Like, I get in the moment, you're like, if I was K, I'd be like, all right, I'll watch it back. Just put that in the story. It's like, all right, I'll watch it back. It's fine.
Yeah.
We all know this is a TV show that airs, like, in universe.
Yeah.
It does air. Like, why else would they mention that it sucks to wrestle on dark? By the way, YouTube, 7 p.m. according to the Top Flight intro. They put in a little thing just in case. These guys wrestle here, so don't worry about them beating these guys.
To what you said, I get that Tony Khan wants to make dream matches.
So wait,
Now, who's it a dream match to? It's a dream match to people that know who El Hijo del Vikingo is, and obviously have seen AEW TV, so they know what's going on. They know what kind of match these two can possibly put on. Why not build to it, man? Like, why just give it away? You literally just gave it away on TV. Why not have him beat one of the Bucks solo, right? And then he beats the other one. And you're like, all right, and he wants a match with Kenny Omega. Say, okay, you can have a match with Kenny Omega, but you gotta beat Brandon Cutler and Michael Nakazawa at the same time first. And of course, he's going to. And then you go and either make it at a pay-per-view or you put it on one of the named episodes of Dynamite. There's no reason to literally just give away a dream match without any sort of build.
yeah, that's one way to do it. You know, I wouldn't even put him with them at all. I wouldn't even do that. Just get him a guy. You got all this talent on your roster, and because we already have that. The Blackpool Combat Club is just beating people up. Obviously, people close to Hangman. So the Young Bucks were written off TV, apparently, and now they're trying to do this to reunite Hangman and Kenny because the Combat Club or whatever. I didn't care when they were faces, and I don't care when they're heels. That's just I got two words. I got two words for you, and it ain't Claudio Castagnoli. It's Wheeler Yuta. I'll leave it at that. You know what I mean? I can't take him seriously. I can't. I just can't do it. I can't. I won't. You just call him Yuta. Why Wheeler? And you know what? I apologize, Wheeler Yuta. That is not the worst name for a professional wrestler. Stu is. Get the hell out of here. Nobody's afraid of Stu. As soon as that match started,
I eat Stu.
Stu does the accounting. Stu is supposed to file these documents. Stu is supposed to be on this Basement Bookers podcast. Stu is not a professional wrestler. So, I mean, Stu Grayson is.
Yeah.
But his name sucks. I hope it's not your real name. Because if it is your real name, you probably should, take the time to come up with a cooler name. You know? Like a cooler name.
Like Kenny Omega.
Yeah, like Kenny Omega. It's on his birth certificate now. He had it legally changed. You can do that too. Not you, but Stu Grayson. Watch. Oh my God. You know what? I'm gonna look up his name right now. Stu Grayson, real name. Stu Grayson. Oh my God. His name's not even Stu Grayson. His name is Mark Dione. So wait a second. First of all, it's Mark with a C. So relax. Not Marks like us. So, oh my God. Like, why? What? What are you thinking? What? Dark Order. You're in a group called Dark Order, but you choose Stu Grayson.
So maybe he's an old school Batman fan, and I don't know where Stu comes from, but he liked Dick Grayson.
Oh, I can see why he decided to go with Stu Grayson. Okay. You know what? I don't want this to be a roast of Stu Grayson, but
while we're here,
just so people understand what I'm trying to say here, here in this Brave tab, so not sponsored by the Basement Bookers podcast, you can see here he is formerly known as Stupefied or Player Dos. But for those of you that don't speak Spanish, that's Player 2. Because Evil Uno, he's Player 1 technically. I wonder if he was also that. But whatever, it doesn't matter. We're talking about Stu Grayson. Stu Grayson, you're better than this. You can have a cool name. I'm going to call you the Pickaxe. You're the Pickaxe. You are Mark the Pickaxe Dion. And you're out there when you're picking people apart. And then when they decide to run their mouth, you ask them a question. And then before they can answer the question, you hit them with a double axe handle from the top rope, brother. Whatever. I don't know. I'm making it up. So, all right. Anyway, fix it, Stu. You got this. Mark.
Stupefied. Definitely
All right.
inspired by the Disturbed song.
Now, since we know how you feel about El Hijo the Vikingo, let's talk about the real big news out of AEW. The upcoming tag team match career, or being in AEW versus titles, the Gun Club versus FTR. Now, I feel like this is one of those, let's get the marks talking and excited about this because we're really not going anywhere. We're taking those belts. Because its first is, all right, if we lose, we won't challenge for the tag team titles. They're like, oh, you know what? That's not enough. All right, fine. All right, if we lose, me and Dax, we're not going to tag team anymore ever again. We'll never tag team in AEW ever again. No, that's not good enough. All right. What if? Okay. What if we lose and we don't get to wrestle in AEW ever again? Like, all right, that's cool, and that's where we're at. So, how do you feel? What do you think?
I feel like them talking about recently on social media and I guess on the podcast also about how they've made a decision of what they're going to do after their contract expires. I feel like that's probably a swerve to make people think that they're going to lose to the Guns. So maybe they beat the Guns, which there's no way they should lose to the Guns, really, ever. If there's no shenanigans, FTR goes over every time. But what if? What if they were offered something, or what if something was sort of discussed and they go to New Japan full time? They would do that before they go back to WWE, even under Triple H, because Dax has been vocal about not being one of Triple H's guys or one of his tag teams.
That makes me believe that, but seeing as how they're both family men, I don't see them going to New Japan.
True.
Unless they take their families with them, but they seem to have a good life out there. They're neighbors with Beth and Edge, one of them,
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only thing I'm thinking. Like, I don't know. Like, one of them's got a kid that was sick and they're not anymore and probably want to spend time with them. So I don't know about this whole going to Japan stuff full time.
True. I kind of just came up with it off the top of my head.
No, I understand. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just saying where my thought process is. I think them not being Triple H guys at one point, I think maybe an olive branch was put out. It's like, look, I'm sorry about that. We'll figure it out. You guys are great. This is your home. You belong here. Let's work this out. Because listen, if Vince McMahon can make up with Hulk Hogan after what he did, if Vince McMahon can make up with the Ultimate Warrior after what happened there, you tell him, and you think, if not you specifically, like someone is going to think that, oh no, FTR will never go back to WWE because of this and that. Like, no, you don't understand the business then. Not that I understand the business, but I understand the part about never say never means something, obviously. And some people that they'll never come back. But I think that you can say, yeah, sometime in the future for these guys, be it after WrestleMania, who knows? We'll see.
I mean, I'd love it. Sure, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
That'd be
a lot of us would, but that's the whole game, baby. A speculation game.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot to think about. Roman Reigns will be on Monday Night Raw on Monday because he decided once again not to show up on Friday Night SmackDown. And right now, the story is, if you want to pay attention to the story is going to be for me, is that Cody Rhodes is out there wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
He's practicing, he's training. The tribal chief has been on a heck of a run, and he's just going from main event to main event. He doesn't really, not even doing really even mixed tag matches lately. So they could probably use that as a way of being like, he overestimated Cody, and Cody said himself that Solo Sikoa is not ready, and Roman Reigns isn't ready.
Mm.
So we'll see what happens with that. I think we had a lot of fun today, Rich Perez.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we did have a fun time here. I want to apologize to the Basement Bookiverse for no green screen. My unkemptness. I am very weak right now, and I want to thank you all for watching the Basement Bookers podcast. And don't you think for 1 second that I will not be ready for you, Rich Torres, at WrestleMania when I defend the Basement Championship successfully, even if I can't lift the Basement Championship over my head. I will have my wife lift it over my head for me, and I will celebrate in being the basement champ. Also, a big shout out to someone very special I recently been able to reconnect with. I'm not going to blow up your spot. I'm thinking about you. I want to shout you out on the podcast. Maybe one day I will earn the right to talk more about you. But I'm very happy that we're talking. And with that, Richter is, if a basement booker needs to find the Basement Bookers podcast, what they do, what they do, what do they do? That's the word? Oh, what they do. Should I do what they do? What they do.
Well, as I understand it, everything is below. There's a link tree. The only thing that's not on the link tree is the Instagram, Basement Bookers Pod. The TikTok is also Basement Bookers Pod. Gmail is there. Any way you want to get in touch with either of us, both of us, whichever the case is, there it is. And just got a party message.
Before I have to drop the parting message, I want to say this. Speaking of the Instagram, I want to say that the most important message is to thank everybody on the Basement Bookers podcast for checking out the Instagram. We have broken, for the first time ever, on any Basement Bookers podcast post anywhere, we have 3,141 likes on Brock Lesnar and Omos hanging out on Monday Night Raw. And it's unbelievable. So, first and foremost, I want to thank Omos. Second, I want to thank Brock Lesnar, as always, for letting me talk over you guys. And
for not
everybody,
suplexing us.
For not suplexing us. When you're sharing and you're liking, it feels really awesome. And with that said, the match of life is scheduled for one fall. So make it count.
And do what the man says.
Follow the bookers. That was a fun little clip. Maybe you liked it. If you liked it, maybe you should go ahead and subscribe and do all the things. Follow us up. Hit us up on Twitter. You want it? It's all in there. Look at this. Look at this nice little graphic. Just check it out. Thanks for listening. New episode every weekend.